Hello, hello, all of my Facebook fam. Sensei Victoria Whitfield here. You can find me at naturalintuition.com, your journey partner in business. And this is my 45 live. It's day 3 of 45. And up in here on my off day. It's a Saturday. And I just wanted to pop in for some insight and connecting with you around healing fatigue and exhaustion, especially as an entrepreneur, business owner, CEO. So a good friend of mine, Stacy Martino, has this expression called the pumpkin hour. And this is one of those ways that we can communicate first with ourselves and then as well as our partners, our team, our clients, everyone, what our boundaries are. And Stacy's freaking awesome. I love you, Stacy and Paul Martino. Go check them out at relationshipdevelopment.org. And I've been through a few of their programs, and learning about the pumpkin hour is super important for me as someone who's a passionate business owner, someone who's purpose driven. My business is purpose driven, so that means I'm here in service to others, and I believe that's part of my life's purpose is my business. I don't just go to work, right? I'm in my life's purpose every day when I'm working. By the way, if I want to know who's journeying with me for these 45 days, so go ahead and hit hashtag live if you're watching live, or put hashtag replay if you're watching replay, so I know to love you up and I can see who's journeying with me. But this concept of the pumpkin hour is really powerful because for me, it's in alignment with, again, one of those 5 Reiki principles that we've been talking about from day to day. And it's around being kind. Just for today, I will be kind. And as a summary, if you're just catching up on the journey, or you're just entering in, you're like, oh my God, Victoria, what? Are you talking about Reiki principles? It is. Just for today, I will not be angry. Just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I will be honest. Just for today, I will be kind. And just for today, I will be grateful. Right? And by the way, that's the abridged version. And so I take those 5 Reiki principles and I apply them to my business lifestyle and day-to-day, as well as that for my clients. And it's really had beautiful results, just having those values to help guide our decision-making process. And so with that, I've received a lot of coaching, and Stacy's been one of the people I've received awesome coaching from. Stacy and Paul, husband-wife team, they're amazing. And this idea of the pumpkin hour has really helped me to be more kind to myself first, rather than, as you know, as I was sharing in another live, rather than seeing myself as a machine and working myself into the hospital like I have in the past, and how my family has a history of doing so as well. And my clients have, and their families as well have had it. We all share this similar kind of achiever thing. And so I want to lead with this concept of the pumpkin hour, because that's the hour of the day that you turn into a pumpkin, essentially, is what that is. And that's Stacy and Paul's terminology. It's incredible. Go check out their program. By the way, if you're watching live, put hashtag live. If you're watching replay, put hashtag replay, just so I know who's journeying with me and who I get to love up as I'm sharing here. And I've been on a very long-term journey around healing exhaustion and fatigue. There's something about being a business owner, especially in a purpose-driven business, not just like, I'm just, trying to make $1 out of 15 cents here, but no, I'm actually living my life's purpose. There's this thing, I'll put it on me, that I've found in me where I am so passionate about what I do that I'll kind of never turn off. And there's repercussions to that. The repercussions is I'm using a crap ton more energy than I would if I wasn't in this purpose-driven business, right? I'm using a crap ton more. And so why the heck am I so exhausted? I mean, like, I'm in year 11 of my being in my business full time, by the way. And with that, I've tried so many different things. I'm an energy worker, so I do energy work, and that has helped, right? But the amount of energy I'm expending has continued to increase. And what worked initially, as I continue to increase the amount of energy output that I'm giving in my work, what used to be just fine, do an energy clearing and I'm good, this is a whole nother can of worms. Like, for example, I have like the lighting in here, I have the Wi-Fi and all this types of stuff, like I'm streaming and all of that. Big part for me personally, of my journey with fatigue and exhaustion has been energetic exposure, EMF, meaning electromagnetic frequency radiation exposure. For me, I am a highly sensitive individual, and so I get affected by that. Hey, Robin. Hey, Goddess. Good to see you. Mwah. Right? So you and I both, we are highly sensitive individuals. And so this types of stuff, I've found, like EMFs, or electromagnetic frequencies, things that let off a lot of radiation, right? Such as wireless technology, such as electrical devices with no grounding line. They affect me. They give me a lot of inflammation, but I've been using more and more of them to show up in my business, right? Or to stream like this, etc., or from wherever I'm working, because like I'm not just here in my home office, but I'm able to work from my mansion as well as from on the road, or wherever I'm in a hotel room or resort, wherever I am, I'm able to do that. But at the same time, that affects my body. That whole EMF situation is just one aspect of exhaustion and fatigue as a business owner, especially a purpose-driven business owner. Like, my life purpose is tied to my business. My business is an extension of me enacting my life purpose. And by the way, if that's you, right, go ahead and type that in the comment below, like, that's me, or me too. You could type that in the comments below, because I also want to know who else is journeying with me who's in a purpose-driven business, right? But for me, my exhaustion has been like a constant battle. And even now, as I'm receiving support around that, not everybody knows everything, right? I've paid thousands and thousands of dollars to incredible nutrition experts, to my fabulous homeopath, right, to different practitioners, to different energy experts and all this. Like, I've invested so much and I'm still learning. In fact, I'm bringing this up today because I'm convinced that I just had a breakthrough around my energy, right? So I brought up the pumpkin hour, by the way, at first. I just want to close that loop. I brought up the pumpkin hour because I don't just have pumpkin hours. I have pumpkin days, and we are currently talking right now during one of my pumpkin days. So again, what is that? Pumpkin Hour comes from Stacy and Paul Martino from relationshipdevelopment.org and their amazing coaching program that I fully endorse. Go work with them. Buy their stuff. Yes, amazing. Listen to their podcast. Anything they do, everything is amazing. But the pumpkin hour, when they taught me about that, Stacy and Paul, is the hour of the day that you basically turn into a pumpkin, where brain shuts off. I don't have any more to give. My body's tired. I'm hungry. I don't want to problem solve, even though I am living my life's purpose in this fabulousness called my business, right? But there's just a certain point where it's like, I don't wanna. 2 years old, and like it's bedtime. Put Victoria to bed, right? Or feed her, burp her, and let her go, like, dissolve into the nothingness. And so there are certain hours in every day where we turn into pumpkins, and that's important for Stacy and Paul say for communicating with others of like, don't have the serious, deep conversation during the pumpkin hour. Don't ask the question that could start a fight during the pumpkin hours. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Don't touch it. Right. So that's amazing. But I personally have found on my own journey with healing fatigue and exhaustion is that I have pumpkin days. I have pumpkin days all day Saturday, all day Sunday. I am absolutely worthless. And I need that, and I love that, and I want that. Like, give me my pumpkin days, right? The latter half of Fridays and the latter half of Tuesdays as well are pumpkin hours or pumpkin half days for me. It's not good for my energy. And I remember there were, in the early days of my business, where when someone said, can I book a session? It was whenever they were available. And if I'm working according to the 5 Reiki principles of just for today, I will be kind, that out of the 5 Reiki principles, I have to remember to include myself in that, right? So just for today, I will be kind to myself. Scheduling appointments, clients, meetings, doing, administrative, yada, yada type stuff. Doing that during my pumpkin hours is not good for my energy. By the way, if you're watching live, put hashtag live so that I know who's journeying with me live. If you're watching on replay, put hashtag replay so I know who's journeying with me here. So I get to love you up. It's a pleasure to get to know who's with me in this. But again, the pumpkin hours are when I turn into a pumpkin, and I understand that. And it's also unkind to treat myself like a machine. Victoria the Machine. I'm thinking of you, Ginny. If you ever watch this, I know she was just watching the last one that I shared. But Ginny's like, I turned into Ginny the Machine, and I was like, and I banged it all out, and I got it all done. And then it's like we share this. We share this as purpose-driven business owners. It's at the expense of our energy and our health and well-being, right? That turning into the machine. And so I just wanted to bring that pumpkin hour idea to a close of it's important to be kind. I've found personally for healing my fatigue and exhaustion as a business owner that I observe that I have my own creative rhythms, and it's not 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, and it's not the typical business hours of let's say a Reiki master. okay, who follows massage hours, which is like freaking 9 to 9, especially on weekends, because that's when, weekend warriors want to get their massage or something like that. I, mm-mm. It's bad for me. It's bad for it would be unkind, I've found, for me personally, studying my own rhythms, to schedule during those times, right? So that's why I only do like a weekend retreat twice a year, because yes, those are not good days for me. But at the same time, I adjust the entire week around that so that I have a weekend before and after, or pumpkin days, if you want to call it that, before and after, so that I'm not blasted crazy when I come back to my home and my business and everything after doing a weekend retreat. But I only do those twice a year, and that was intentional, because if I'm going to do a weekend, because I know for some of my clients, such as yourself, Goddess Robin, you're only available on, say, a weekend, or you're only available on a Monday or something like that, I can take care of myself while still serving my people, right? I got to be kind to myself. And another thing, so back to that breakthrough that I had today. So the pumpkin hour wasn't the breakthrough. So around healing fatigue and exhaustion, I've been talking to Jared, by the way, shout out to you, Jared, for being awesome, my incredible permanent weight release coach, amazing. Highly recommend his program. Ugh, incredible. It's the easiest thing I've ever done. I've been talking to him back and forth of like, I've been feeling so tired. And earlier this week, I went down to Naples, Florida, and I was like, whew, bright-eyed, bushy tail, got my tan going, happy. I wake up dancing, like excited. And then coming back to Jersey, it was like, cold and heavy energy, literally struggling to stay awake. And I've been on a multi-year journey around managing my energy. So this is like, all right, what is it this time kind of a thing. So I looked at, for example, wrapping my laptop in a grounding mat, to make sure the Wi-Fi isn't like all in my face while it's not in use, right? Or like evaluating all different kinds of things. Well, what am I eating? How is my digestion, etc. And the breakthrough today was this. I did a vision journey, and my spirit guide said air quality. And I'm like, what? What do you mean air quality? Okay, so I go for a walk outside. Yes, it's cold as hell, but it's invigorating. Is it because it's cold though? And then I come back inside and I notice there's a difference of, let's say, yes, smell, but density to the air indoors versus outdoors. I'm like, okay. So my spirit guide said air quality, and I'm like, all right. So I do shamanic vision journey meditation for receiving personal guidance. This is something that's completely changed my life. I'm probably going to be talking a lot more about that in coming lives with you. But and by the way, if you're watching, put #live. If you're watching live, put #replay. If you're watching on the replay, so I know who's journeying with me. But so, okay, air quality. So I'm communicating with my guides and continuing the conversation, because I'm not just going to do one meditation. They're going to say that, and then, I'm scared. So the journey conversation with my spirit guides continues to deepen, and I'm literally connected to them as I'm flipping through different air purifiers. Okay. And then they said ionizer. There were more ions, so anions, let's call them, which are negatively charged ions, for those of you who don't know that jargon. basically it's the fresh air. Let's put it that way, for in nature. There were more down in Florida where I was staying than here in Jersey where I'm staying. I'm like, And there's like machines that you can get that just pump out anions, or otherwise known as negatively charged ions. And as I'm sitting in Journey, my spirit guides are like really throbbing that as get this, you're exhausted, you can't stay awake because of air quality and a lack of exposure to anions. You can tell the difference because you felt them down in Florida. Up here, there's a total, I was literally struggling to stay awake this week. It was amazing. I am so grateful for how compassionately I am scheduled, because I never do back-to-back anything. It's unless there's like a fluke in the schedule, but like everything's coded to always give me at least 30 minutes between everything. So that I can have like more rest. And Jared's helped me to have like always have a 90-minute lunch, for example. So but even with all of that compassionate scheduling, I was just exhausted, feeling extreme fatigue and wondering what in the world. Hey, Kelly. Hey, sister. What in the world is going on? I got in the mail the ionizer today, and I'm like, I kid you not. Immediate difference. The air is fresh indoors. It's as if I'm outside is what it feels like. I feel like the same way that I felt while I was down in Florida, minus the lovely warm sunshine. But like I feel like there's fresh, clear air everywhere, and suddenly I'm way more awake. And not in like a kind of awake way, but more of like, I feel like I felt down in Florida. This is amazing. And in Florida, I was on vacation. One could say, I was postulating like, I must be really stressed in my business, because as soon as I came back to New Jersey, I can barely stay awake. During the day, after like 9 hours of sleep, like good sleep with the weighted blanket and the heated bed and the all of the massage and the baths and stuff like that, and taking the magnesium and everything. I'm doing the things to manage my energy. So what is this exhaustion? Lo and behold, air quality. Air quality. So that is my greatest gift from today's non-work day, right? It's my pumpkin day, and I'm very happily not tuned in, not turned on, not like, on my A game, but at the same time practicing deeper levels of self-care. And I wanted to share that in today's live, because that may change the game for you. How's your air quality? Have you been struggling with exhaustion and fatigue? Especially if you're like me, I'm an empath, right? So I'm a highly sensitive individual. The foods that other people can eat, I can't eat. I mean, like, everyone's like, oh my God, almonds. I can't eat the brown stuff on almonds. So it's like, it's a wrap. It closes my throat. Or like, there's so many things that I can't eat that other people can eat. There's so many that are healthy, right? I'm also highly sensitive to people's emotions. I'm an emotional sponge, right? Let alone sensitive to electromagnetic frequencies and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, my body is special. I was going to say jacked up, but it's special. It's limited edition, one of a kind. Yeah, it's interesting being in this meat pocket right here. Well, with all of those sensitivities, though, I've been on a very, very, very long journey with exhaustion and fatigue, especially as a purpose-driven business owner. right? I'm burning the candle at both ends, with pleasure, because like I love what I do. And that can be like, more means more, right? So just because I love what I do doesn't mean I should destroy my health, or settle for feeling crappy and tired all the time. Last year, for example, and by the way, if you're watching live, put hashtag live so I know that who's with me. And if you're watching on the replay, put hashtag replay so I know who's with me, who I get to love up on this journey, who I'm sharing this with. So last year, I had another breakthrough around managing my energy, because I had settled for always waking up crazy congested and with aches and pains in my body. I thought that that's just how everyone wakes up. And then I learned more about mattresses and beds and all of the terrifying things about mattresses and beds. And I really don't want to go into detail about the scary mattresses and beds and how scary mattresses and beds are. But basically, learning about that, I was like, is that why I'm waking up achy and congested every single morning? I'm like, ugh. Like, I threw out my bed. I talked about this on the podcast. My podcast is the Journeypreneur podcast. You can find it on Podbean for Android peeps or iTunes for Apple peeps. But I talked about it, why I threw out my bed. It was one of the episodes that I did last year after doing that, because my energy levels went through the roof. I implemented sleeping on the floor, Japanese style. Like, I put down beautiful, huge, authentic tatami mats, and got a handmade shikibuton, which is basically a large floor pillow, otherwise known as a futon, but it's not a futon. It's just shikibuton. And so it's this huge pillow that's maybe about 3 inches thick, of organic cotton. And ever since sleeping on the floor, I wake up like, yes, or yay. I don't wake up congested. I don't have aches and pains. Chilling, just because I threw out my American bed. So that's just another example of this. It's long. I think it'll be a lifelong journey, because I'm going to continue to change as I age, and as my business and my movement continues to blossom and grow. There'll be more and more levels of energy that I'm working on, and I have only talked in this live about thus far about my own emotional energy as well as physical energy. But then there's also the energy of my business, of like, what's the capacity that I'm able to take in this business. And I remember hitting the wall on the limits of my business's energy early on, and that's why I started working with virtual assistants, right, and getting more people to help me out with different business tasks, such as bookkeeping, accounting, the social media and the website and things like that. And it's grown over time. Like in my first live, I explained that, I have like around 30 people supporting me, and it's only going to continue to grow even more. But it's because with more people supporting me in this business, my business has more energy to expend, right? It's like adding cylinders to your engine if your business was a car, By the way, hit hashtag live if you're watching live, so I know who I get to love up on for journeying with me, and also hit hashtag replay if you're watching on the replay, so I know who's journeying with me. I'm gonna love up on everybody. It's wonderful to get to share these lives with you. But that, I think, is what I have. I'm starting to feel complete, and I'm celebrating that, all that support. I'm celebrating finding something that has completely changed my quality of life. This little tiny, it's only maybe about this big, ionizer And I swear, I feel like I'm outdoors, indoors, and my body feels like softer. I'm more awake. I'm making how do you say? I'm connecting the dots more. Like I'm coming up with little innovations here and there. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I didn't realize this until now, until I had fresher air to breathe, right? So don't underestimate the power of air quality. I know I did, and I'm super grateful. I'm also celebrating and super grateful for my spirit guides who just drop that seed of wisdom and give me a direction, an alignment to help me continue to improve and move forward. What else? I'm going to celebrate in advance the lovely bath that I'm about to take. I celebrate that I have an awesome nutritionist, Jared, who's like, you need to take an Epsom salt bath. I'm like, honey, you don't need to tell me twice. I love every piece of the fact that that's what you're recommending for me. So I'm excited for the bath. I also am celebrating that I got lots and lots of magical things in the mail, one of which is a rainbow bath bomb. And I am so curious to see all of the bath water turn into a giant rainbow. Woo! I'll see if I can get a picture of that. I will not be naked in the bath. Sorry. Not on camera, at least. Let's see if I can get a picture of what it looks like once I put it in to see if, like, it for real is going to, like, create, like, a streak, a rainbow streak. I'm excited for that. I'm celebrating a pumpkin day. I've been a complete, absolute waste today, and I'm so happy for it. And I hope you get to enjoy your pumpkin day. By the way, when's your pumpkin days and pumpkin hours? And if you are watching this now and you tuned in a little bit later and you're like, a what? A pumpkin, like, what? Just hit rewind and go back to the top. But I want to know, like, have you noticed that you have certain hours out of the day or days out of the week where you kind of turn into a pumpkin? And if so, are you honoring them? Are you being kind to yourself, like one of those 5 Reiki principles, and making sure that your calendar and all your schedules take that into account so that you're kind to yourself rather than treating yourself like a machine? So that's the question I'm going to leave with you. Go ahead and comment below. This is a two-way conversation. This is not TV. This is not YouTube. This is Facebook. That means I get to see you when you respond, and we can have a two-way conversation. I love that about this platform. Again, Sensei Victoria Whitfield. Here you can find me at naturalintuition.com. I help purpose-driven entrepreneurs create a stress-free business. And I'm going to close out this live the same way that I always do, in the same way that I do on my podcast, the Journeypreneur Podcast, with this mantra. Please remember to enjoy the journey. Do not lose your glow as you grow in life and business. And we'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.